Hello class, Will McBurney here. I'm going to walk you through the installation of Python 3 and PyCharm. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to go to python.org, the website I have here. We're going to go to Downloads, and then you can simply pick the most recent download, download 3.7.4. One thing to be aware of is there is a significant difference between Python 3 and Python 2. We will be using Python 3 in this class, that is 3.7 specifically. It's worth knowing if you want to use Python 2 that you can download it here. Some older programs still are updated with Python 2. But we're going to start by downloading Python 3. Once that's done, we're simply going to click this installer, which will be in your downloads folder, or if you're using Chrome, you can just click it on that bottom. And we're simply going to click install now and wait for Java to install. This can take a bit, so be patient, but once it's installed, we'll be able to do a couple checks to make sure it's working correctly. So now that Python is installed, we can simply close. And then if you open up Start and type idle, you should get idle 3.7. We're going to open up idle. This will actually give you an active shell that you can kind of work with Python in. So for example, if you want to create a variable, say x equals 5, and then you said something like x equals x plus 2, you can then ask Python, hey, what is x? And it will tell you 7. This is a very useful tool for just some quick and dirty checking in Python. So we're going to want to use that often. But we are not going to want to do our development in idle. Instead, we're going to use PyCharm. So if you Google PyCharm, the following link comes up. We want to go to jetbrains.com/PyCharm. And then from there, we're simply going to download PyCharm. We're going to use the community free version. This can take a while to download as it's a fairly large program, but once it's downloaded, we're simply going to run it like we did with Python to install the program. And then click on the executable. This again can take a while to start up and install, but we are going to let it run its course here. From there, we can hit next. You can change the installation location if you would like. As for the options, I personally like creating a desktop shortcut, as well as adding launch as a path. This is optional. I also like to create an association with .py files. What this will do is if you download a .py file like we upload from class and open it on your machine, by default it will open that in PyCharm rather than opening it in, say, something like Notepad or in idle. Often when you click on a .py file in Windows, it will actually run the program with Python. So we're going to override that here. Then we simply do the installation. This can take a bit, so relax, get a cup of coffee. But once it's done installing, we'll do a quick check to make sure it's working. So now that we've installed PyCharm, we can go ahead and close and finish setup. I like to check this box just to have PyCharm open up. When we open, we can select whether or not to import settings. I'm simply going to choose Do Not Import Settings. I'm going to accept the license agreement. And then from there, you can pick your UI theme. This is purely cosmetic. I personally like the dark theme. This is fairly popular among programmers, but that said, there is absolutely nothing wrong with using the light theme. From there, you don't need to worry about featured plugins. You can just go to Start Using PyCharm. And we're going to start, just to get started, we're going to create a new project. And we can go ahead and give that project a name up here, something like First Project. Not particularly creative name, but let's just go with that. This is going to prepare our workspace, provide some tips which you can reasonably safely ignore. Creating the workspace will take some time. You can see this creating virtual environment box right here. Going to be running for a bit, but then we can, in First Project, do a new Python file. And from here, I'm going to call this Python file Hello World. And then we can run Hello World in Python, which is a nice, short, simple program. It's the first program we're going to write. Simply type print, open parenthesis, open quote, hello world, close quote, close parenthesis, and that's it. That's a program that will print hello world. And let's go ahead and throw a space in there so it looks nice. From here, we can hit run our program, make sure that we say we want to run hello world, and there we go. You can see the program, ignore the Windows Defender bit there. You can see the program ran fine, it printed hello world, and we're happy. So this should have you ready to go and ready to participate both in class and in lab, as well as work on the assignments. So thank you for watching, and best of luck with this semester.